Hi, this is Tom Liversidge for Tap the Table Productions, another interview as part of the Flash Theatre Festival coverage. I'm here with my colleague Wayne Ingram, and we've also got
Marvin Freeman,
Trey Curran,
Harris Lewis,
and Liam Harvey.
Now they're all part of Lost Fragments Theatre Company, and they're currently working on their show, which is called The Show Must Go On. So how are you finding the process, guys, at the minute? You've come to us and you all look very stressed and nervous from what you've said.
It's definitely hands-on, pedal to the metal. It's busy.
challenging.
Yeah.
it's fun at the same time. It's enjoyable most of the time.
We work well under pressure, as I said to you earlier. So, this kind of speed we're used to. We've done a couple of things together before, so,
The script is very fast-paced, so you have to work very fast-paced.
And what brought you guys together as a theatre company? I gather it's like over a year ago that everyone decided to get together. What brought you guys together?
Well, we all have a passion for physical theatre. We've all exceeded at it in past productions. So I think that was a link. That's all our strength of ours, and it made sense to get together and play to our strengths.
I think it was working together on Fall of the House of Usher for our second year performances, where we first all realised that we were actually pretty decent at physical theatre. And after that,
you don't say so yourself. Yeah, we're kind of a big deal.
It's always the border between confidence and arrogance.
we were selling ourselves to get
So just sort of a mutual passion for physical theatre.
Yeah.
So I assume that's a big part of your process and of the show itself as well. If you want to tell us a bit about that.
Okay, well, on the screen there's a lot of projection, and that's all naturalistic, but on stage it's very physical theatre. I don't know how to explain it really.
I think that was it.
We
Postmodern influences.
It's definitely definitely influenced by postmodern like Peters. And definitely for our style, we took influences from obviously Frantic Assembly, DD8, groups like that, and our own style, and work that we've done with Trudy A. Bell of Elias Theatre as well during the Fall of the House of Usher. So we've sort of merged all of these influences and and our own spark as well, and sort of creating as we go, just whatever we feel needs to happen.
So what have you used as the biggest tool for your devising process, if you will? I know you've got a sort of script that was written, but was there any devising that came around it as well, and content creation?
Yeah, see, we have the script is like our basis, if you like.
Skeleton, really.
Yeah, I mean, for example, we'll have a scene and we'll just run it about 20 times, just saying it over and over again until something happens movement-wise. Like it might just be an arm or a small gesture or something like that, and something will come of it, and then we'll be like, oh, there's something in that, that movement, and okay, let's explore that. What were we doing there? Let's, see if we can create some movement around that, and that's sort of what we do. We just jump off the script, use the words to sort of influence the text, not the text, the movement, sorry. That's pretty much what we've been doing so far.
Now I've heard that the actual show itself is based from Ben Elton's
Dead Famous.
works, Dead Famous. And why did that come about? And
Well, we originally was interested in reality TV and like the manipulation behind it, and it's not what you're seeing is not actually what it is. Then someone recommended a book to us, Dead Famous, and we all read it and we all just loved it. It was just, couldn't put it down. It was a page turner, and we just thought this would be so good for stage, and it would hit so many objectives. And
we've obviously that script itself is a bit dated. I mean, it's like 2005 or something like that. It's a bit dated. 2000 even, yeah. So I mean, we needed to do something to it rather than just, because we could have just done it and put on a naturalistic piece, adapted the book, but we needed something more current at the moment, which is why we decided to go down the physical theatre route with it. So it's just that little bit more to give to the audience, rather than just a play.
So is it? You say obviously you've adapted it, but is it Dead Famous adapted, or is it inspired by Dead Famous?
It's more inspired by.
We've changed a lot of the characters.
There's
Because
a lot of
obviously
characters in the book.
in the book there's 12 characters inside the house, and there's only 4 of us.
There's a lot of multi-rolling going on, and
So we've had to cut that down, cut characters, multi-role others, change the scenario of the murder as well, because that works better in the book with narration, but on the stage it just wasn't plausible, especially in the time we had. So more inspired is the bottom line.
And Dead Famous is kind of
it was kind of popular because of Big Brother at the time, came out at the same time. Whereas if we did that now, it wouldn't. Big Brother isn't as big as it was, so we've kind of made it more. We've kind of given a style of like Jersey Shore and Geordie Shore and the Valleys and stuff, and put that into the kind of
all of those.
The Big Brother house.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
So, just so that because I don't think we have actually mentioned it yet, so it's not too cryptic for anyone listening. What is your show actually about? Because I don't think we have actually touched on it.
I don't think we have actually. Who wants this one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Basically, the show follows a detective who is called in to solve a murder that's happened live on a reality TV show, our fictional show called Lock-In. Basically, the show questions how somebody can be murdered live on television without a clear source of who's done it.
Okay.
And the audience follow the detective as he's trying to solve the case through the use of the unhelpful editing suite people and Geraldine, who runs the production company, who's more focused on the money her show's now bringing in because there's a live killer on the show.
There's a twist as well, because the only footage that is available for him as evidence of characters and things like that is already been edited by the show itself. So it's manipulated and fake somewhat. So that's where his struggle lies. He has to work out what's real, what's not, what's been edited, and that's sort of the journey of it.
Okay.
So in terms of the theme of it, we've obviously touched on it a little bit. What is your main theme in this piece? I presume some sort of an abstract look at.
It's manipulation, deception, and what people do for fame as well, and ethics as well in general.
Questions the morals of reality TV and the people that go on it.
And what they want from it, those sort of things.
Can you tell us a bit about the sort of research side that you've done into those themes and into those subjects? So where have you sourced material from? Where
Watched a lot of Big Brother.
That was torturous. Torturous. No, Trey loves it. I just
We looked at a lot of past Big Brothers and the controversial side of it, like controversial arguments, like the Jay Goody thing, like the uproar that caused, and it was ironic because it then pulled in more viewers before, like in comparison to before the arguments. Just a lot of that, isn't it? Really.
We had to we also looked at some of the process that they get that before they actually go on the show, and some of them have been in rehab, and some of them are fighting depression and body disorders and stuff, and they've still been on the show and still had the pressure of kind of the fame, and afterwards they've had to go back to kind of rehab, and we were quite interested in that.
Yeah, there was the before and after. What they want. So we researched into contestants that we could, what they wanted from the show. I mean, they're a lot more open about it nowadays, but back then there was a lot more discreet.
Yeah.
What they want from it, and definitely what's happened afterwards. Have they achieved what they wanted, or have they just gone back to, their normal lives and things like that? So that's the sort of things we've been looking into.
Have you taken any of those sort of stories and of those materials and put that into the show at all?
Maybe.
Or reused it for anything? But by all means, if you want to try and keep it secret, obviously give as much detail as you like.
Definitely the stories have influenced our character choices.
All the characters have a story.
Yeah.
They all have their own backstory.
All got their own backstory, but we won't go into that now.
No,
that's fine. Let's keep it as secret as possible.
So have you guys, because before we started the interview I was saying to Tom that the concept just reminded me of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a heavy research?
Before we even came across it, we were let's try making something that's like Black Mirror.
Oh, that was your starting
watched it
point.
as
I love Black Mirror.
Yeah.
It's
So good. We were
fantastic.
just let's try to keep Black Mirror in mind.
Black Mirror for stage.
Well, just there's no one shagging a pig in it.
There is not.
Close to one.
It's a goat instead.
If no one knows Black Mirror, look it up.
Yes, please do. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Now, something I asked the last group as well, which I think we'll try and make a feature of all of these. Where's Lost Fragments come from then? Because every theatre company I think has got their own story or their own place where it came about. Where did Lost Fragments come from?
It's a very good question.
Yeah, we discovered for a while, and we
have all sorts of
we
names.
helped. Yeah,
like-
we discovered.
the name. Oh.
Yeah, we discovered that
The name, yeah.
what we like
I
doing,
don't
maybe in future shows and this show, is exposing things that people may overlook, or things that people don't normally see and things like that. So the lost fragments, like the fragments, is sort of like the bits that they're not seeing, the bits that are being missed and stuff like that, and lost obviously puzzle pieces, and it just sort of emerged, and then lost fragments. That sounds cool.
The other names weren't as.
Oh, we had like twisted momentum. Such a mouthful. It's like a tongue twister.
Was that the worst name that you ever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Twist was in it for quite a while.
Yeah. Twist. Yeah, because we wanted something that was like a description of movement. Yeah, and
There's
then
also rigid pulse at one point.
God.
We
Twisted pulse.
researched it. It represented someone that was like dead or something.
Oh yeah, like bone.
It was like a bone disorder or something.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe not a good
Yeah,
idea.
maybe not a choice.
Now, going back to your show, the show must go on. Now, I know that us here at Tap the Table, we always like our audience to walk out of having seen the show, having put something across to them, or some sort of message within the show. What kind of objectives have you got that you want your audience to walk out of the venue thinking or having felt because of your show?
Well, our original ones are gonna change at the moment, because as we're doing the process, we realise we're not hitting the aims that we originally thought we might. But we haven't rewrote them as yet, because we're still on our feet, still doing things at the moment. But we can tell you our original ones, certainly.
Well, I
I
think
mean, they're
the
kind
one,
of the same.
Yeah. We want them to
Same
leave,
line,
and if they're going to watch programs like Big Brother, just to not sit there and be fooled that what you're seeing is what is real. Because some people, contestants go on and they get portrayed in a certain way, then they go off and then people hate them and they get all this like hate, and it's not actually who they were, and it's just to not be fooled by what you're seeing. That's kind of one that's kind of still applies, doesn't it?
So I suppose like things like with like X Factor auditions, the
Yeah.
fact that they've already auditioned 3 times
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
even got there,
Yeah.
sort of thing, and kind of
Yeah.
that aspect of things.
Yeah, so when people sit there at home and go, "Oh, how do they not know that they're really bad?" It's because they've been through 3 or 4 auditions and they've been getting told they're really good from the producers. So we just wanted to expose and kind of question the morals sometimes of reality TV, as well as like, why are they showing this? Why they're portraying this person in a certain way? Is it right for them to show that sort of stuff?
Yeah, and the ethics of the acceptance as well. Like when people apply, I mean, we've done research and people have applied who have had history of mental disorders, like we said before. So we want them to question those sort of ethics as well.
Recently, that
I
girl
was just
did
going to say, yeah.
abortion.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
literally thinking
Yeah.
about that. I only
Like,
found out about that
that's great for
yesterday.
us.
I was like, that's
Yeah, it's good for us. Research-wise.
because the story is, isn't it, that she applied for Big Brother, got
Yeah.
pregnant, has been offered to go on Big Brother, and is so getting an abortion, so she.
Yeah,
they
it's
won't
awful.
take her while she's pregnant, so she can have an abortion.
And of course, this is advertising for Big Brother, because the more she's in the papers, the more it's linked to them.
The more
Yeah,
people are now going to
people
choose and
watch
watch it to
Yeah.
see her.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Apparently.
Yeah. Now, we're also interested in from reading on the Flash website, your use of technology. In things,
Oh god. So much.
I don't know if that's excitement or dread.
can you reveal the extent to which it's involved in the show, the sorts of things that you're going to be using? I mean, you were mentioning earlier that you're going to have some more naturalistic things on the actual.
Yeah, well, quite a lot of the in-the-house bits have been filmed, and there's like different rooms. So there'll be like
The
on the
stage
stage
living
will be
room.
like a living room, and then on the screen will be the kitchen. So they'll have to,
Walk
if they
off
have like a
stage.
line towards each other, they throw it to them. But then there was times when you walk off stage to
And
go
you'll
on
come
screen.
onto the kitchen and you'll be talking to somebody on the screen whilst on stage. So it's a lot of
It's like time.
perfect timing, which is,
And is that pre-recorded?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pre-recorded, but it's
Yeah.
just the
It'll be filmed
timings.
themselves.
There's at one point something gets thrown
Yeah, there's
on
a
the
lot
screen and then it's got to be thrown
Right
off the
on
wings onto the
stage
stage.
basically we've just used it as an extension of the stage.
Yeah.
'Cause we've got back projection and it's massive, so it's a clear, rather than just keeping one room, doing a set change, which we didn't want to do. We just wanted one whole house on the stage. We use that as an extension, pretty much.
And we've also got.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, Chloe. Yeah, because we're using the assistance of a first year actor, Charlie Rose, and we're because obviously she's so busy, and, being in first year, it's like a pivotal year. We decided to use her parts on the screen. So whenever there's a scene where Charlie's in it, that's on screen. Sometimes mixed with stage as well, but she never actually steps off the screen. And there is something in that I can't tell you now. But that gets discovered. When you watch the show, you'll see something happens with that. So that's exciting.
That's cool.
And that is really interesting to extend the stage by using that technology.
Yeah, hopefully it pays off.
Is that? I think that's not something I've seen in terms of trying to have a different room off stage. I've obviously seen shows where there's pre-recorded stuff where there's characters on there. But did you get that idea from somewhere else, or is that something that you
I
guys
don't
came
think it
from?
was fully done by them, but I remember seeing Worcester Group do Hamlet, where they had certain bits of the original Hamlet on the screen while it was happening on stage as well.
Oh, right.
So we kind of took the emphasis of that, but then used it to extend. Because originally we were going to play with having the same stuff on screen and on the stage at the same time.
Yeah, that was the original, wasn't it? Mimicking.
That
was with our time frame.
We felt it'd be a bit too much for a whole show as well.
Yeah.
And we also have the other characters, like the detective who's watching that footage. So it was like, how do we get from the inmates? And
Who was playing the detective? Oh, so
There's two detectives.
there's two
detectives and
Chief Inspector.
yeah,
Chief
Chief
Inspector.
Inspector, Detective, and then there's Geraldine, who's in charge of
producer.
producer, and David, who's the show editor.
We also
have a house character.
a house character, so
as
there's a
well.
lot of quick changes.
So it is essentially like a Big Brother type show that you are going for, lock-in.
Yeah.
Well, lock-in's
What's the concept of lock-in as a show?
5 housemates.
Is it just like
in
Big
a house?
Brother?
Yeah,
it's not
Inmates,
as
they call them inmates.
Yeah, they're called inmates. It's not, obviously we can't get hold of a Big Brother studio, so we had to.
Why not?
Do you know what I mean? We've had to use what we can. So we're using the halls and the new halls of the St John's one, which are really like stylish and
Fancy.
Yeah, so it's like a normal kind of house rather than like a Big Brother house.
Yeah.
But yeah, they live in the house. There's like 30 cameras, microphones. They get tasks.
Alcohol parties.
Alcohol.
And we wanted the lock-in itself. We wanted them to. We wanted it to be about them being trapped, being squashed, and then being manipulated in whatever way they wanted. So that's where the sort of lock-in sort of theme came from, rather than just a nice fancy name for the show.
And the fact that they're called inmates kind of gives across that they have no control over what's happening to them.
Yeah.
It's all by the producer and the editor.
Cool. Now, there's a question that Wayne's been asking every other theatre company.
Yes.
Do you know which one I mean?
Yes, I do know.
So if you'd like to go ahead with that one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we should have warned you of this
Nice
previously,
setup.
really.
It's quite.
So, if you could describe your show in one word or one sentence, it's up to you. How would you describe it?
Same reaction.
Every
as the-
time, everybody goes, "Ooh."
Trying to get the best word to describe it is.
One word.
You can have a word each, or what your
Mysterious.
show means to you, anything like that.
Come on, you just take it.
I don't know. It's not my knowing face. I'm still. I don't know. It's definitely loads of words, isn't it? It's mysterious. It's
exciting.
Sexy, exciting.
Just put commas in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have a sentence.
One
all of these.
shocking.
Amazing.
Good.
The best thing you'll see this year.
It's a good
Let's go
sentence.
with that one. Right,
We hope, anyway.
Right, well, before we wrap it up, guys, I don't know if you've got any other questions
No.
that you want to pop in. We'll go through the sort of information as to where you can see it, when it is, and things like that. And I've got your dates here, hopefully. So I think I'll get these right. So Wednesday the 14th of May, is that your opening night?
Yes.
What time do you start?
2
2
p.m.
o'clock.
That's 2 p.m. at that
2
one.
p.m.
Thursday the 15th at 10 a.m.
Mhm.
We'll have to get up early for that one. And there's also Friday the 16th of May, 7 p.m.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
the one.
And is that all at the Looking Glass Theatre?
Yes.
That's your
The
venue.
main auditorium.
And where can you get tickets from?
They can be got from the Rolling Gate box office.
Or just phone the box office
Yeah.
number for Gate.
And you know ticket prices at all?
£6. They're
What's the
also
deal?
we're also doing a deal for because we're hopefully having a school come and see it.
Great.
We're in the process of that at the minute, and we've got them a deal for
£3,
£3 each. So
Teachers come
it's
free.
schools can come as well. It's a great for physical theatre if they're studying that. It's a great sort of thing to see.
That's great. Well, that was Lost Fragments Theatre Company. By all means, go ahead and see their shows. The show must go on. 14th, 15th, 16th of May, Looking Glass Theatre. Best of luck with it, guys.
Thank
We
you
look
very
forward to
much.
seeing it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.